Hi friends, David here from Learn Christmas Lighting, and Merry Christmas! If you're watching this video as it comes out, then you know it's getting close to Christmas. And if you're watching it later, regardless, it's time to work on your display because it's kind of a year-round hobby. But today, I want to talk specifically about pushing pixels. So if you go out there and you go and buy pixel props, which most of the time you're getting these, you might go to Boscoyo Studios, the original, we really like them. Gilbert Engineering, there are others. You buy these props, you might buy these Megatree strips, right? You go ahead and you buy those. You go ahead and you buy some HGPE type stuff. Like for example, I have the Boscoyo modular matrices all over my house. This is a mini tree that zip ties together. The material's called HGPE. And then you may also have, of course, the old standard. I need a place to put this. Nope, it fell on the floor. Corrugated plastic. And you might be asking yourself, you look at all this stuff and you go, okay, how in the world do I get my pixels into my stuff, right? That's ultimately what we're trying to do here. And in today's video, I want to show you some tips, some tricks, and some tools to make your life easier and better, okay? So if you've ever gone ahead, like for example with Coro, this is a Coro singing bulb, this is a Coro arch, and you can go ahead with Coro and grab a string of pixels, okay? Like I've got one here, let me just find the end of it. You can go ahead, you grab a string of pixels, I'm literally in the middle of the string, it doesn't matter. And you can go and just start punching it in, right? And there's a few things to know about when you do punch pixels in, okay? The first is some Coro props, you're going to see one side of it having an indent if it's thicker, and the other side might not, okay? That's going to be a clue as to which side is up. This is especially true in some of these props which are not symmetrical left to right, okay? In fact, pretty much every prop is not symmetrical left to right. So you want to first look at your prop, identify, okay, which side's the front, which side is the back, look at the picture from the vendor, identify that. Once you've identified the proper size, if you're using a thicker Coro like this light bulb, I mean, sure, you can grab your pixel, you find the hole that you're looking for example, and you're going to just line it up, and you can push it down in there with force, push it in, okay? Now, couple things you want to be aware of when pushing pixels into Coro. Even though this is a thicker Coro, these arches are a very thin Coro, but regardless if your corrugated plastic is thin or thick, if you don't support the backside while you're pushing, you're going to bend it, and then once it's bent, it can't be unbent, really. It's going to be floppy for the rest of its life. So you don't want to do that. You want to be careful with it, okay? So you want to back it with something. For a thicker Coro like this, I mean, literally just as simple as going ahead and spreading your fingers out in a V pattern and putting it underneath is often enough to support it really good, okay, to get that pixel in there, okay? And taking them out, if you do need to repair one, is not so bad either. But if you've got, like a thinner Coro, like right here, this is a really thin Coro, that may work for that as well, but you might want something just with a little bit more support because this stuff is so floppy, okay? In that case, a 10 millimeter socket works great. Also, there are 3D printed pixel pushing tools, which we're going to talk about with the Megatree strips in a second, okay? And these can be great backers too, just placing them underneath. And now it's kind of that perfect distance there behind the pixel. I don't know how well you can see it, so that it really does support the corrugated plastic really well and keep it from bending, okay? Now, with the Coro props, like I said, there's enough oomph, the Coro is strong enough and it's easy enough to push the pixel into that you don't necessarily need a tool to push the pixel in. You can go and just be happy here and just, go ahead, push in your first one with your fingers, go ahead to your next pixel down the line, push that in, push that in, push that in, etc. Okay, And you can do that all day long with these coil props, and it works pretty well. When it comes time, when you get to the HDPE or the strips, that's when you really are going to want to employ some kind of tool to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so one last note too with coil props, there's always going to be a wiring diagram for them. Of course, this is an arch, this is simple, right? You know, it's an arch. You go one way or you go the other way. You can set it up either way in X lights and, you know, you're done. Okay, life's easy, right? But what if you're doing something like a singing face here, like this guy, okay? What do you do there? You want to look at X lights, go in your layout tab. You've brought it in from Boscoyo Studio, and this isn't a tutorial on how to do that, but you can right click on it and see the wiring view. That's a view from the back, okay? So like this guy, he's got a little tape on him, so I know that's probably the back, though I will double check it. And, you know, I can go ahead then and see, okay, you know, look up the wiring diagram and it'll tell me where to start, which way to go, and I can follow that along. In addition, with the Coro props, Gilbert Engineering, I believe, was the people that started this, and now Boscoyo's starting to do it, other people do it, where they'll actually print the pixel path on the back of it. I believe Boscoyo calls it pixel path. Which is super cool because it shows you which way to go, shows you how to connect everything, you can't mess it up, and it's numbered. But regardless, even if you don't have that, you only have to do it once. So popping it up on the computer, you can take a screenshot and print it if you want, and you can see. And it's generally pretty sequential in the sense that if you're going along here and you're getting into your prop, it's like, okay, you know, lines will go in straight lines, right? And rarely do things skip around funky. Sometimes if multiple elements are close, but then, you know, like on a singing bulb like this, you'll get to the outline and it'll be like, okay, you know, all the way around that outline. And, you know, it's just straight through, and you can see that on the diagram, and you can just go to town and not pay attention for a minute while you go around, right? But what about, you know, so Coro is pretty easy to punch into. You can use your fingers, just making sure to back it properly so that it doesn't bend. But what about those harder to push props? Yeah. For example, as we noted, the HDPE plastic type props here, like this Boscoyo mini tree, or a mega tree strip, which we'll cover in a second. With these, you're going to want something to hold your pixel to put it in to the prop. Here are two options. I like them both, okay? The first are pixel pliers. Pretty much all the vendors make them. The factories make them. You can get them. And they basically, what they do is you've got here a pair of pliers that is specially shaped here on the end to hold a pixel. So you can just literally like be sitting here and reach out and grab the pixel, okay? And then take it into your medium, whether that's a strip or one of these, back it, of course. And in the case of the strips or the HDPE, the backing, holding the back, is not as much about breaking the strip, though with the horizontal, like the Boscoyo Chroma trim, you can break those strips. They're fairly, they're fragile. They're not fragile, but if you put force on them in the wrong way, they will start to shatter. It's not as much about that, especially like the HDPE and the Megatree strips. You know, it's not that you're going to break the strip by not backing it. It's just going to be a whole lot harder for you to put that pixel in, okay? And so the pliers, you just go like this, and you're literally going to go and just push it down in there. I like to use two hands. Again, having a backer behind it, boom. It goes right in. I actually went backwards. This is the front, but regardless, you push it down, it sits in there in its little tabs, and it is secure. Now you can move to the next pixel. Okay, pixel pliers, great. I like the pixel pliers for Coro. I like it for these HDPE props that are not too hard, but there also are these little T-handle ones. I got this one from All Layered Up 3D. We do have access. We can get a Matos Design set, which is comes with these two in blue, and that's a really awesome set. I like these better for your Megatree pushing, or your Boscoyo, your regular vertical strips. And let me show you why. So like with something like this prop right here, okay, it literally just takes me, you know, I'm going and I'm lining it up. I grab the plier and I push it in, and you can do it one-handed on like a material like this HDPE. You can literally go, and yes, I know it's backwards, it does not affect anything, and you just push down one-handed, and it goes in and it works nice. Okay, let's talk about those megatree strips. So I've got some Boscoyo megatree strip here. I have it just so you're aware. I've got a few pixels pushed already in it. Got it started. Okay, and I've got it on the reel because you buy it in a reel. That's the best way to do it. That's multiple hundreds of feet long. Okay, and I actually take that reel and I keep it in the box that it ships in. So it's a coral reel. I don't have a picture of it here, but that's okay. And you could set it up on some boxes or something and stick a piece of pipe through it and let it unreel. That's probably the best. But honestly, I feel it works almost just as well to take it, flip it sideways in its box, and then it'll be able to spin in its box as you pull on it to get more of it. Now, megatree strips. Having a tool like this 3D printed tool, again, Matos Designs has one that we really like, and we can get it through our store, though I don't think it's up yet, is perfect because you take this, you take the megatree strip, you line it up. Okay, it's going to slide right in there. Slides right in. And then all you do there is you can now go ahead and, I'm all tangled, but that's okay. Pull up your pixels. Sorry for the noise. And now you can go ahead and say your next pixel's ready. You grab the pliers, okay? You go ahead, you grab your pixel, you push it in. Now the problem here, and where I don't like the pliers as much for the megatree strips, is that you have to get it to push down all the way because the strip is rigid and strong. You can't do it one-handed. It takes a second hand on top pushing down in. You can see it up close here. Okay, it takes that second hand pushing down in. That's where I really like these guys, these little T-handles, because they're designed for force on top, okay? So as my pixels in my megatree thing try to fall off the table, instead of these, which are really designed, they work great for the Coro, they work great for the HDPE, but when you have to grab, they're quicker with grabbing the pixel, but when you have to push down hard, like on a megatree strip, you have to push on the top of it, essentially poking the end of this thing through your hand. I mean, not literally. Whereas the T-handle, you grab this guy, yes, it takes like a second more to take the pixel and you place it in. So in here, there are a set of grooves, the lowest one being where the pixel goes, and then above that is designed to hold the wires. And so just a quick second there, you push the pixel in, and I know I've just got a tangle of pixels here because I pushed some of them into another prop. So you grab this guy, okay, and now see that the pixel's in the lower part, it rests up against the second section of the T-handle, and then the wire can come above, okay? Then you simply go ahead, and now you're ready to push. And so now you don't have to hold side to side. You can put all of your effort into pushing down with a slight wiggle, okay? The slight wiggle that you do as you push that in is just going to allow you, as you move along, as you're working across that strip, wiggling side to side a little, just gets the little teeth of the mount to fit properly into that strip, okay? And so then, hey, you're ready to go. Boom, grab the next one. Again, the T-handle takes a second or two more of insertion, of just pressing it in, okay, before the pixel's ready. Whereas the pliers are a little easier to grab the pixel, but a little harder to push on media like the megatree strips, where it's difficult to get it into the strip, okay? At the end of the day, I hope you have fun. I hope these tips have really helped you to make a better show this year. And if you're new to this and you're like, oh my goodness, that looks like work, it's really not bad. It's something you can do in front of the TV. You can get your kids involved. Or if you really don't want to do it, there are vendors out there. There's some new ones popping up. And I know Matos Designs does this with certain props where you can buy pre-punched strips, pre-punched props, and have them delivered to your door that way. And so that is another option as well. But of course, it costs more. And I say, hey, if you're going to sit in front of the TV anyways, sometime, why not punch some pixels? So again, if you guys are new to this, hop over to learnchristmaslighting.com, grab my free guide, the 4 things I really, really, really wish I knew before I started with a Christmas light display, and then we will see you guys in our next video. Thanks so much for watching. Merry Christmas.